Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
Hey, welcome back, everyone. Wedding season is upon us. Days away as we get into the spring, and lots of couples are planning their wedding, and not just weddings, but we also have big events coming up. Typically, traditionally, when the weather gets warmer, people do those types of events. We're going to talk about wedding trends today, and that's with help from Alice Victoria Mbuyi, and she's with PassionEventsDesign.com. Alice, great to have you back. How are you?
Hello, Steve. I'm doing good, thank you, and I hope you are well, and all the listeners as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah, you know what? How bad could you be? Because I know where you are. You're in the Maryland area. I'm sure it's warming up a little bit like it is up here in the New York area, right?
Yes, it feels like spring already.
Yeah. Yeah. So let's start talking about some of the trends for weddings. What is getting very popular? What are you finding that brides are asking for right now?
As of now, the recent ones, events are going bigger and bigger and better, and just big parties are coming back. People are looking to host big events where we had like some requests for 250 guests, 350 guests, and a lot of venues allow that now because of the restriction have decreased. So that is great. So that's one of the big trends coming up. And also what is going on is, well, intimate weddings has been there forever. But now some brides realize that they want to have all the elements that they wish for their wedding and decrease the guest count. So they can have many things that they would like to have for their wedding.
So when you say
And we,
intimate, Alice, intimate weddings, how do you mean? Because we go, one side we're talking about now more people going to your wedding because the restrictions are lifted, and then intimate. So what are we doing in terms of intimate right now?
for the intimate wedding, it's just, we can, like a small size of wedding. It can be hosted for 50 people. Some do 25 people. And because in the past, brides used to host larger events and they couldn't afford certain providers, maybe a photographer, they couldn't afford the top chef. So now they're doing like smaller weddings, and they're investing in the decorations for like tablescape design. They're investing in that and all the some of the centerpieces that are on the high end.
Do you find you often get, Alice, couple saying, I don't know what to do? They just throw their hands up and then you help them
Yes.
out. Yeah.
Yes, Steve. I get that most of the time. Some couples come to us and they have no idea what to do, and we are glad because that's where the planning process takes place, to tell them how the process goes from A to Z, and they enjoy that. And I get some brides when I ask them the question, what colors would you like to have for your wedding? I have some brides say, I don't know. Can you choose for me? I'm like, no, this is not my day. This is
Yeah.
your day. So how about you tell me your favorite color? And, how about you tell me your fiance's color? And sometimes we can combine that.
It's got to be very exciting for you. It's almost like sometimes you have a blank slate, blank wall, and you can paint it any way you want. When I say paint it, I mean plan the wedding that way. You're starting, with an open canvas. So that's got to be for you, Alice, very exciting too.
Right. Because I want the couples to enjoy the process. I just don't want to decide for them. So I want them to enjoy the process. So that's where I suggest to them, how about this? Would you like this? So that they can be part of it. Because some of the couples just say, okay, here the money, here's the check, and do the thing. But I like to involve them when it comes to decisions and preferences.
Do you find that more people are doing their ceremony at the venue as opposed to doing it somewhere else and then going to the venue after?
Yes, people are doing at the venue because it's it's better for them when it comes to transportation, and especially when you have guests coming from out of state,
Mm.
and they don't drive, and to depend on the shuttles, and sometimes to to decrease some of the cost. Couples like to host everything at the venue, and some of the venues have like a nice outdoor place, where they can have it outdoor. And of course, we always have a plan A and B. So in case of rain, it will be hosted inside. So it's good to look for a venue that can have the capacity of having the ceremony and the reception as well.
So when we talk about planning, if you need a tent, things like that, that's our plan B. Is that something you take care of? You take care of all of that?
Yes, yes. For the tents, we have some of the tents, and in case we need more than that, we need more than we have. We also partner with other party supply rentals, and I do the rentals with them, and come and install. And the good thing with the tents, the installation of tents is installed the day before, so that we don't have we are not late for anything. So that is a good thing.
Yeah, that's a really good point. And if there's any changes that need to be made, the tent's already up. You can adjust it. Did you just say that you have your own tents as well as you rent them from outside vendors?
Yes, I have a few. It takes space to store them, so
Yeah.
I have a few. And of course, those who are hosting events, let's say 300, 400, yes, then that's where I will call the rental company to also rent from them.
Well, that what totally makes passion events designs totally different in that you have those kinds of things at your disposal. If somebody needs a tent, you can provide it for them as all part of their package. Where other wedding planners have to always reach out to somebody else. So that I'm sure that's partly because you guys are soon opening up your own venue down in Maryland, right?
Yes, yes.
What's your target date on that? How's it looking?
I'm still looking in the springtime, because we are doing some renovations currently. So it all depends when the contractors will complete. But in the coming up interviews, I'll be able to give you like a specific date.
Terrific. So we are talking with Alice Victoria Mbuyi, and she's with passioneventsdesign.com and can help you plan any kind of event, whether it is a wedding, whether it's a sweet 16, whether it's a anniversary party, doesn't matter, birthday party. Um, let's dig back into weddings for a second, Alice, and suggestions for your floral arrangement. Flowers are so important. Sometimes they go a little lower in the stack of importance when people add, the chef, the venue, uh, the DJ, the entertainment, but they're so important and can't be overlooked. So, how about some trends, some suggestions that you see right now?
Yes, so flowers are very important element when it comes to a wedding because they change the look, whether you have it outdoor or indoor. It just brings some happiness. I heard some brides say when they see flowers arrangement, it makes them happy, and we are glad. So when you come to florals arrangements, the right now the new trend with the florals is the tall centerpieces with the tablescape designs, and people are just doing bigger than ever. So those are good for table design, and also there's flowers for every season. So for those who are getting married for springtime, when it comes to making choice. First, it's good to consult the florist, and the florist will give you an idea. But before you get to the florist, if you want to make some research, there's some florals that you may consider for springtime, and we know that hydrangea are always good to have, especially in centerpieces. You can have peonies, you can have orchids, you can have wisteria, it's many of them. So just, and carnation. Carnation is just, to have them placed in centerpieces, even the bouquet of the bride is great to have. And also, when you make inquiries for florals, florals have different prices. It's good to know that. So before you speak to a florist, you can make some research, or you can ask your event planner to tell you. You can tell your event planner what kind of flowers that you like to have, and the prices will go with each florals.
And you said before, Alice, the trend now, the popular thing is tall, tall
Tall.
centerpieces.
Yes, 5 foot centerpieces
Wow,
for 4 foot,
really?
and just over the weekend, I was part of a design. We were able to design with one of the high end event planner, and we did some tall centerpieces on tables, and just look great. You can go on my social media, and you will see some of them to have an idea. And people are going bigger than ever these
Mm.
days.
Did I hear you right? 5 foot centerpiece. Did you say 5 feet?
Yes.
Like I'm trying to picture that in my mind. What that, sitting at a table with that is seriously tall when you think it's almost like, somebody, a human standing on top of the table and going up that high. How interesting. Wow. Well, that's why
Right.
you have a wedding
Right.
planner to help you out with the trends. What about suggestions for some of the other things that are important? Let's say let's talk about food because it's so everybody talks about it. After the wedding is over, you know that the food was so great and that was memorable. Any suggestions you have there in terms of either trends or things that we should ask in planning a wedding with our wedding planner?
Well, food is something that we should put into consideration. I just want to advise brides that are shopping around. Let's look for a high-end chef that has a license, and also go for the tasting, because you want to hire somebody who not only specialize in making food, but you also want to know, so that there won't be no surprises. So tasting is a must. And when it comes to food, have a variety of selection, because you can take a list of people who, for example, are vegetarians, so that you can provide like special plates for them, so that they will feel welcome. Because a lot of food choices are probably like two choices, and there's nothing for the vegetarian. So when it's like that, the guest is unhappy. And when they remember your wedding, it's like, I didn't eat well because there was meat, and so just
Right.
that. And get the best catering company. Don't shop for the cheapest one. Quality will preserve stomach. Quality work will eliminate stomach ache, because the high-end chefs, they know how to preserve the food so that it won't go bad, especially when you get married in the summertime, in the heat. So it's very important to hire a caterer that have everything, ice, come with ice, all the other equipments.
It's so important, and to your point, Alice, don't skimp or don't try to save on your catering, because it really is next to the venue. That's what people are going to talk about. Your flowers are going to be pretty. They're going to be, yes, they'll appreciate that, but the food is so key. What about appetizers? Any trends you see now? Is it that people still very careful about what they eat in terms of COVID? With a toothpick. Any thoughts on that?
Well, the appetizers, they can be wrapped up, safely. And I know before there's some appetizers that you can just pick with your fingers. Well, yeah, so I think we need to eliminate that, because even if it's in your own plate, you greet people, you
Yes.
greet them by hand, you touch things, you even touch the glass. So always have something like a toothpick, something you can pick, or fork to eat. The safer, the better. So, well, some appetizers that you don't necessarily need a toothpick that you can eat with your fork. It's better to do that, to be safe,
Yeah.
because we are quick to put things in the mouth
Yeah. And
and
you're
we
shaking hands,
forget.
right? You haven't seen
Exactly.
people in a long time. Anything with bacon. That's my thing, but that's just me. Uh, I want to talk real quick about you. Now, you've been doing events for quite some time now, and all different types of events, but it was a different path for you, Alice. Do I have this right that you were gonna or were a nurse at one point?
Yes. Yes.
Tell me how
I
that went,
yes.
how you changed gears into event planning.
Yes, I mean, I was encouraged by my parents to pursue nursing. It wasn't really my thing, but I went to nursing because I felt like there's a need in a hospital, or so I went for it. But as I went and I practiced, I went to school. I don't like needles. I don't like seeing blood. And at one point, when we were in the training session, we had to assist a mother who was giving birth. And for some reason, I fainted in the room.
Wait, let me hear you clear. You fainted?
I, I fainted.
Huh?
I couldn't take it, and I fainted.
Uh,
And
I'm right
I'm a
there with you.
mother myself. So it wasn't really about the pain. It was just, seeing the bloody show. And so
Yeah.
nursing is not for me. So I went to I went back to the university and I went for business administration. And after I graduated, I had my bachelor associate. And when I was looking for work, I was looking for work, and I was getting interview and offering $10 an hour for a reception, to be a receptionist. And I was like, I didn't sign up for that.
Hmm.
So I said, let me be full time in event planning, because I can make more than $10 an hour doing event planning. So here I am, and I
You know,
enjoy it.
what's interesting, Alice? You went from your goal because you became a nurse for a reason. You wanted to help people. And that's what you're doing right now, just in a different capacity,
Yes,
right?
yes, yes, correct.
And not to say that, somebody giving birth is not exciting, but if it's not your thing, and I'm totally there with you. I would be the same exact way. I once did a health fair, and I was broadcasting live, and they were like, well, let's just prick your finger and take your cholesterol. As soon as they did it, I was like, I think I may pass out. And it came very close. And I knew that's not my thing. But you have to go
Right.
through those things to learn them. Yeah. It's
Yes.
it's must be so rewarding for you knowing that you're at the beginning of a couple's life together, the next phase of their life. How does it make you feel?
Well, it makes me feel accomplished,
Hmm.
because it takes trust for someone to trust me with the work. So I feel accomplished every time, every step of the way. I feel accomplished.
I love the way you said that, trust, because they are people are putting their trust in you, and
Right.
it's a big. We only get a chance to do events once, whether it's a sweet 16, you're only going to retire once. You should only be getting married once. And that's a big factor for you. That's a big responsibility on your shoulders, but you have to be, I'm guessing, very much into detail, you know, planning. And especially if you have a couple of events coming up in 1 month, making sure that you have everything scheduled and set up. How often do you check back with
Yes.
couples during the whole process of planning? Is it on a weekly basis? Is it every couple of weeks? How does that go?
When in the beginning of the 12 months, it's monthly. And when we get closer, it's first, if second is every 2 weeks. And then when we are more closer, it's every week. And that's how we do. But in between, we have couples that love to chat, and they want to talk to me constantly. I don't mind, so I talk to them, and they feel reassured.
How about some other tips? We have a little bit of time left. Any other tips that you can offer in any category? And it doesn't have to just be weddings; could be events in general. Anything that you want to share?
Well, what I can share is making your guests special. So there's one of the new trends that has come up is when it comes to wedding, when you have like a full weekend wedding, where Friday you can host the bridal shower to amuse your guests, especially people were in place, people were in their homes, they were in the city during the COVID. So now that things are getting better, people are willing to travel. So if you're a bride and you want to host your wedding, you can have your bridal shower on Friday, and you can have your wedding on Saturday, and Sunday you can host like a brunch to thank your guests, especially the ones from out of state. You can just have that and enjoy with them. And another thing is destination weddings, is people want to travel. So if you're having let's say your wedding in Puerto Rico, for example, or Mexico, people are willing to come there. So because it gave them the opportunity to travel, and there are some destinations weddings request. So that's very interesting.
And is that something, just to double check, Alice, if somebody was going to do a destination wedding and wanted somebody to plan it, is that something that you could do?
Yes, that is something I can do also. And my team and I are willing to travel where the clients want us to be. And for the destination events, not just for wedding, there's somebody that's celebrating their 50th birthday,
Hmm.
and they're going to have it in Mexico. So again, that person is an event planner. I'm already booked with several events that period, but I'm still thinking.
Hmm. So when it
Yeah.
comes to those destination weddings, are you also the person that would line up the accommodations, for the guests and take care of, the guests' needs as well?
Yes. Yes. We are the one to handle that. And sometimes if I'm not able to go myself, I can also send my staff if it's okay with the host.
Yeah, and that's one of the challenging things too. If you have a destination wedding, so many things to keep track of your guests and booking the hotel for them. It'd be so simple just to say, yeah, go talk to Alice. She'll set you up. She's got everything under control. What a what a relief, for people that are planning events where they don't have to worry about, those types of things and can really just focus on having a great time, whether it's a 50th birthday or actually I'm going to see somebody in a few minutes that is about to celebrate their 50th wedding anniversary. Um,
Oh,
yeah, and they're thinking about doing a destination as well. So I want to give your website out again and tell us real quick the process when somebody wants to talk to you more about planning their event.
Okay, so we are Passion Events Design and LLC, and the website is www.passioneventsdesign.com. And when you reach us on our page, there's a link with the contact page. You can post there questions that you have, requests, and we also have a phone number on the website. It's 240-215-0146, and we'll be able to reach you back in case we miss your call, or you will speak to one of our team members. And just to acknowledge today, happy Women's Day to all the women around the world. And God will continue to empower us, and be blessed.
Yes. And thank you for bringing that up. I appreciate that. It is, where would we be without strong women? And you're one of them, Alice Victoria Mbuyi. And congratulations on your business and helping so many couples out. And look forward to getting together again. Go to Passion Events, that's with an S, passioneventsdesign.com. Again, Alice, thank you so much for all the tips and the wedding trends today.
Thank you, Steve. Thank you, Steve. And have a wonderful day.
You too. We'll talk soon.
Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
Are you looking for even more of the podcasts and hosts that you love? The Podcast Business News Network is proud to announce that you can now listen live on the MyTuner Radio and online Radio Box apps for iOS, Android, and the Amazon App Store. Or check us out online. Search for Business News Network on mytuner-radio.com or search Podcast Business News Network on onlineradiobox.com/US so you don't miss a minute of the action.
For nearly 2,000 severely injured veterans, everyday life has become filled with barriers.
Day-to-day simple tasks can become pretty daunting.
I have to carry my chair up 2 flights of steps or have somebody do it for me.
What scares me the most is just the falling.
When I'm struggling with my house, I think, to have that one great barrier just knocked down, it's crucial.
Home for Our Troops is a wonderful nonprofit that builds a
mortgage-free, fully adaptive, handicap-accessible house. And there's no catch.
It'll be our very first home that we've ever owned.
This is a game changer.
This is where your life begins again.
We need you to join us in completing this important mission. Please visit hfotusa.org and help build homes and rebuild lives.
Because of you, everything's going to be okay.